And we're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right. Crossroads, we'll turn left.
Crossroads, turning left. And the next available left, please.
And the next way. Okay, so this
End
time,
of the road, right.
end of the road, we're going to turn right. So this time, just ask me, what am I going to check?
What are you going to check?
I'm going to check the middle mirror, the distance and speed. I'm going to check the right door mirror, make sure no one's overtaking me. Otherwise, I just let them go. Or else
Yeah,
I'll be
that's
forcing
how we do
them
that
into the
time.
Park, oncoming traffic. Okay, I reckon I've got that now. That seems to make sense to me. So now you need to hand it back to me.
And we're going to turn right.
I'm going to turn right.
Yeah, so this is me coming out of my stupid PDI roll there.
Okay.
I wouldn't have handed it back to you there until I asked you.
Don't show me how you do it. Just
Well, you did
need
show
to
me how you do it,
Yeah.
but I would have asked you again. And why is it important to check their mirrors?
Okay.
And what's the consequence of not checking them?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then I hand it back to you.
Okay. So back and roll. Just ask me one more time. Check my understanding.
Alright.
So you can ask me while we're moving along why I'm checking those mirrors.
Yeah, why are you checking it? Well, we've got a junction coming up. Can I do it there?
Yes, of course you can. But there is no reason why you can't keep talking about them, asking questions about them while we're
Alright.
rolling.
We're going to turn left. So what mirrors are you going to check?
I'm going to check the middle mirror and the left mirror.
And can you just tell me why are you checking them?
I'm checking that middle mirror for the true distance and speed of vehicles behind me, and the left mirror for any cyclists that might be there.
And what would you do if there was a cyclist there?
Good question. I'd let them go. Keep going.
Yeah, and why would you let them go?
Because otherwise, they'd think I was turning, so they'd wobble off.
And what if you did turn?
Well, then I'd hit them, wouldn't I? So I'd just let them go.
Yeah, so I could pass that back to you now, couldn't I? I can't really go any further with that, can I?
Absolutely.
And we're going to turn left.
It's turning left.
Right, so I'll pass that back to you,
Okay.
but I'll keep an eye on it.
Excellent. Okay, that's good.
Take the second turning to the left, this being the first area, just under the bridge. End of the road left.
End of the road, we're turning
Are you going to signal?
left. Oh yeah.
And turning right.
And we're turning right. So was that important that I didn't put the signal on until the last minute?
Didn't expect that one. Yeah, that's why I prefer to come in with these questions as you're approaching. You can't make a mistake then, can you?
But like I said, that would be over instructing. Okay. So let's just get up here.
If we turn right and then park up where we originally started it.
Yeah. So if you ask me, why is it important to put my signal on a little bit earlier? Or better still, ask me, when should I be putting that signal on? Check that I've got that knowledge.
Yeah, so when should you be putting the signal on?
Oh, should it be about 7 car lengths?
Yeah, so you can go to the other side because the signal. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where you pull up on this side?
Because the car was on the right, this car was on the left, it seemed to be a more...
Okay, just going to have it before. If you actually down here and
I'll
turn
go
around,
turn
come
around,
back up,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, obviously we are giving a bit of leeway with parking on the single yellow line around here, but
Yeah, perhaps not.
it's taking the mickey a bit when we park on a double yellow line, yeah.
Yeah. Right, so back in roll, you've asked me when I should put that signal on, and I've given you the right answer. So ask me, is that...
Just go forward a bit more. So that's fine.
But is that always the case? Have I given you the right answer?
Yeah, so you weren't going to signal, were you?
No.
But you did signal in the end.
Yeah.
But it was late, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so whereabouts would you normally signal?
About 7 car lengths back.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. Is that always the case at 7 car lengths?
Yeah, you've got to give people time to react, haven't you?
Is it set in stone though? Is there any times when I wouldn't signal? When I'd hold it off?
Oh, yeah, I noticed the, in my last test, he marked me for that. There was a road beforehand.
That's right.
There wasn't anybody coming out of it, but he said there could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was misleading,
That's right.
but I never mentioned it.
Uh-huh. So you could say to me, check my knowledge, so you can say, ask me, like you have already, where would you signal? Okay, ask me, is that always the case? Check to see I know that I wouldn't signal before that turning. I might have to hold it off until maybe just a couple of car lengths before the end of the road.
Right.
Ask me why, if I know why that's important. Okay, so why would it be important?
That's why it'd be important.
Yeah, because someone could have pulled out in front of me
Oh,
and then I would have hit them.
oh, okay.
Okay. So then, push a bit further. Remember with the mirrors?
Yeah.
you then had to push it a bit further. Ask me if I know what would happen if I didn't signal.
Oh yeah, the dangers, yeah.
Yeah? So
Yeah.
ask me that.
Yeah, what's the dangers of signaling too early? Or if there's a road beforehand, what's the dangers?
If there's a road beforehand, someone could pull out in front of me. The danger of signalling too early would be someone would think I just left my signal on and may not know it was going to cause confusion.
Right.
What about the dangers of signalling too late, which was my fault?
People wouldn't have time to react, wouldn't they?
Yeah, so you need to ask me, what about the dangers of signalling too late?
Yeah, what's the danger of signaling too late?
People won't know. They won't have time to react. Okay, so push it a bit further. So then what could happen?
Yeah, so people haven't got time to react. What could happen?
What could happen? They're going to get confused. They're not going to know which way I'm turning.
Yeah, but they'll see you slow down for the turning. You know you're going to go right or left, aren't they?
The position of the car does give a signal in its own right, but they may not necessarily believe it. What about pedestrians? If they don't see a signal go on, what are they going to do?
Oh, we never saw any pedestrians, did we?
No. But had there been a pedestrian there, they could have walked out in front of the car not knowing I was turning that way.
Right. Okay, well, give it a rest there for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's just go back over to other things that... Yeah, I know we were working on the scenario that I gave you at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Which you'll find is not an uncommon scenario.
Mm.
It can crop up
Yeah.
quite a lot. It's actually called rescue training, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it means you're going to have to work me twice as hard. You're going to have to work twice as hard because I've got very little money left.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm expecting you to do in 6 or 7 hours what my last trainer had probably 40 hours in 2 years to do, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's going to feel like I'm blaming you, but I'm not really, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm expecting you to work miracles, yeah?
Yeah.
It's probably not going to happen. If I can only afford 6 hours and an hour before the test, you know, okay, my score might go up a little bit higher, but it's probably not going to go much higher than the 3-3, is it?
Mm.
Yeah, is there anything else that was missing on the way around that you'd pick on that relate to emerging?
Well, that you weren't mentioning.
Yeah. Think about my invisible friend.
Sorry?
Think about my invisible friend.
Well, the
Okay.
pedestrian. So you could be talking about the pedestrian.
Yeah. So, if I'd have been sitting in your seat, I'm going to come to that junction down there,
Mm-hmm.
and there had been a pedestrian standing on the corner, I would, behind the pillar without the pedestrian seeing it, I'd have beckoned him across. Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I want you to stop me to beckon him from backing. Or I want you to jump in and make sure I don't as soon as you see the pedestrian. I want you to ask me.
Well, when could I have asked you? Do I have to ask you at the junction, or
No,
could
no,
I?
no. As soon as you see a pedestrian, you can then bring up the subject of pedestrians.
Do I
Even
ha-
before, no, yeah, you don't.
And what if I never see a pedestrian then?
You can still talk about them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's verbal testing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's better that the PDI verbal tests the examiner or the pupil,
Mm-hmm.
rather than the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, the examiner will do a certain amount of verbal testing, but on the way around there was no reason why I couldn't have been asking you questions about.
Pedestrians, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's three main.
If there'd been a pedestrian, would
There's
you
three main questions about a pedestrian. If there was a pedestrian standing on the pavement, what would I do?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer that I'd be expecting to get is, I would make eye contact, watch their body language.
Mm-hmm.
Would I ever beckon them across? Well, it's up to you how you answer that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You can answer it right or wrong, and then it's up to the PDI to correct you, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And what would you do if the pedestrian's already got a foot in the road before you got to the emerge, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's up to you how you answer that. It's your PDI. If you want to test them,
Yeah.
the examiner won't always give the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes they're looking for you to make sure you know the right answer.
Mhm.
So any questions on that?
No, that makes sense. So,
Yeah, and that scenario that we just ran through quickly there, believe me, is not uncommon.
that's a shame, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame, and hence that's why the scores kind of were roughly the same. They probably would have been the same on any subject that I got, really.
So I can see why you would have got a 2, because you only went as far as check this, check that, didn't go any farther than that, 32. So if then you then got me to check it,
Well, I
so you
might.
sorted it out, there's your 3.
Well, actually, I
But
might.
then if you're not going through any consequences...
Well, I might have actually got a 3 on the fact that.
You were making me do it.
Yeah.
But you'd have failed on the over-instruction.
Yeah.
So the 2 is it if they don't spot it at all?
Well, the 2 is me sitting back and just treating you as a taxi driver, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sitting back and just could be lack of knowledge or just the fact I've frozen up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in my case, it was lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
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 So you will get PDIs that are in that position, and they will be expecting you to work miracles. Some of them will react very quickly because they've never had the help before. But obviously they'll have to do a lot of homework as well, i.e. watch videos that you make or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Read essential skills, read the driving instructor's manual.
I feel very much, and I don't know if this is the right way to go about doing this, because I don't remember on my training that we did this very much, but I feel very much when I've done an error and you're not handling it very well as the PDI, and I'm kind of like telling you what to say and pushing you into what to say and getting you to do it right, and then I feel like I want to pull over and discuss it with you, but I kind of feel like, is that then, because you're so close to your exam, it's almost like we've got so little time that I need to move the lesson on really fast. It's really tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can move it on. You can move it on just as fast at the side of the road, can you?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm probably going to take it on. Same with a real learner. If you give it information overload on the move, they're not going to take it in. And it's the same with me as a badly trained PDI. I'm probably not going to take it in because I spent most of the time whinging about the examiners, haven't I? Yeah? And you've done the right thing. I'd have liked you to come in a little bit more and explain that it wasn't the examiner that...
Right.
Yeah? Because this is the most common complaint that, PDIs will always blame somebody else, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
The examiner goes out to the waiting room. That's, when the examiner introduces himself or herself, that is the real examiner. But obviously once they go into role, with no instruction or the wrong level of instruction, they're going to be a nightmare, aren't they?
Yeah.
And that's what the job's all around, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you need to get that across more, yeah? I think by reading on the forum that we're both on that, reading between the lines, they are blaming the examiner. The examiner was a nightmare, or he done this or she done that.
But he's only playing pupil, he's not playing...
Sorry?
He's not playing an examiner, he's playing pupil.
Yeah, and we weren't there. And even when you read a write-up, of somebody's test, especially if it's a write-up on a fail, there's going to be lots of details missed. Because they're not going to remember.
No.
Yeah, they look at the end of the test, they're going to remember their own name.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important for you as a trainer to actually sit in the back, innit?
Absolutely.
Because you'll be able to see what's going on and you'll be able to fill the blanks in.
Yeah.
Because they won't remember. If you asked them where did they go on that test, they wouldn't be able to even tell you.
Yeah.
So what are they going to remember about the errors the examiner made and why he made them, where
They're not
you'll
gonna
actually
remember
see it.
accurately either.
Say?
What they do remember won't be accurate either.
No,
It's
it won't.
distorted.
No, it won't. And what they need to remember is that even if you go 2/3 of the way with the core comps, the error is not going to go away. It's got to be the full package.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the error is going to stay in. And that's important. You know, when you're training a PDI, if they haven't core comp the error, leave the error in and then put another error in. But then I wouldn't take it any further than that, because I would then pull them over, because then, you know, don't forget they're learning. They're not on exam at the moment. Yeah.
There's no point just completely
Yeah.
confusing
So
the situation.
you know, you need to now stop and think. Right, that's far enough. Yeah. Don't push as far as 3 errors. It's now time to get in there and use your comps core comps to improve their core comps. Yeah. But I always think, especially when they're getting their test, if they are missing a fault, leave the fault in, because they're going to have to get used to the fact that if they haven't spotted the fault or they haven't dealt with the fault, well then they're now going to be dealing with 2 faults, and that's real life. So there's no good hiding that from them. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, in the early stages, you wouldn't go anywhere near that. In the very early stages, you'd be actually telling them what fault you're going to put in, because they need to start getting used to identifying, and they need to start getting used to talking. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can remember.
I do remember.
Yeah.
It makes you feel very awkward at first when
Yeah.
you're sat in that seat
Yeah.
giving instructions, and it doesn't come naturally at first.
No, it doesn't come naturally to anybody.
No.
And then if you just take it gradually from there to, you don't want to spot an error, and then just help them then with a bit of guidance of analysing it, and then coming up with remedial action. It's normally the analysation that goes wrong, because if they get the analysation wrong, then they're not going to get the correct remedial action, or it could even lead to over instruction, really, because they're trying to cover everything, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so we give that a pause and relax for a minute.
Okay.
That was the worst PDI you've ever had.